What's good in the hood, YouTube? This is Crazy Samurai 71 here, bringing you another video. Today I wanted to do a video on some more episode summaries that just came out that are happening for Power Rangers Dino Supercharge. For those that do not know, Power Rangers Super Dino Charge is coming. Oh, no, Power Rangers Dino Supercharge. Sorry, it's a little confusing sometimes, and personally, I'm a little bit used to it just with the whole super thing. Anyway. They have now confirmed the first 8 episode summaries. So I wanted to read them to you guys. For those that are curious, want to know things ahead of time. Just remember something. Just because they're called summaries doesn't necessarily mean that they give away too much. But for those who do not know what I do with these, I basically read them out, and then afterwards I will discuss my thoughts on them. Some of those goes for longer, some of those goes for a short amount of time, because some of them don't really give them much detail, but I'll analyze them a little bit. So let's see here, what's the first one? So the first one is referred to as When Evil Stirs. I already knew that was the name of the first episode. So the description says, the Rangers believe their work is done after they've defeated Sledge and his evil monsters. Unbeknownst to them, an even more powerful monster is picking up where Sledge left off and is closer to the Rangers than they think. Okay, so that's a pretty important one because this is referring to the cliffhanger that happened at the end of Power Rangers Dino Charge. For those that do not know, most people are assuming that villain that was shown in that scene is supposed to be Snide. And so yeah, we will see more of him soon, most likely. And it will be interesting to see how he continues, because I do mention that he's picking up where they left off. So I do want to know what they're going to do with him. But yeah, so that's the first summary for episode 1. Episode 2, let's go into that one. So episode 2 is entitled Forgive and Forget. Okay, and it says Snide, so I'm probably right, because it right away says Snide. Snide plans to contaminate the city water with venom that makes you forget who you are in hopes that the Rangers will be infected. Meanwhile, Riley has a score to settle with an old rival at Amber Beach Marathon. Okay, so first of all, we got the mention of this water this venomous water that's make you forget who you are. Okay, that's been done before in Power Rangers multiple times. Wild Force, for example, is one season I can immediately think of where that happened with Cole. So this has been done, that whole entire aspect, and it could be interesting to see which Rangers which Ranger actually does forget it, if they choose to do that, or how they're going to make it work and encourage them to go in the water. So we'll see how that works. I'm actually pretty curious about that one, and I do like when they reference it. Like though people will think, oh, it's so unoriginal to take something from the past. That's not always true, because it's interesting to see what they can do. So I'm actually kind of excited about that. Then going on with Riley and setting the score for Amber Beach Marathon. Okay, well, if you've watched this show in the past season, you might remember that there was that whole entire track thing. So maybe it's something to do with like fitness, or maybe it's something else, maybe something from school. I mean, I don't really know. It's not very clear, obviously, from this. So I guess we'll find out more about Riley and what's his past with this person. So we'll see. Episode 3's title is referred to as A Date with Danger. Okay, cool title, I guess. Alright, so this title, so the summary says, Chase tries to impress his new girlfriend, Kaylee, by showing how talented and accomplished he is. But when it becomes more about him and less about her, Kaylee starts to fall for the Black Ranger instead. Chase tries to impress his new girlfriend, Kaylee, by showing her talents accomplished, how talented and accomplished she is. Okay, so this is one of those ones where it's like this is another concept that's kind of been done, but I actually kind of like this story a little bit more. Again, this is kind of taking a previous idea, because I can think of several situations where it's like where another character in the show falls in love with a ranger as the ranger form and doesn't know that they have a human form or whatever. So it's kind of connecting to that aspect. It's interesting. I'm very curious to see how they make that work and I definitely am looking forward to that episode. That episode sounds pretty interesting. So that's the third episode. Sounds interesting. Doesn't really say exactly like more than that. But the main story is there, so should be good. Should be good, I guess. So let's go on to episode 4's summary and title name. So the title is Nightmare in Amber Beach, which is where they live, as you may know. So it says, Shelby receives a pillow from an unknown sender. When she uses it to take a nap, she starts living a nightmare. The Rangers suspect this must be from Snide, so they all make sure to stay awake, but that proves to be harder than they thought. Okay. Well, so it says that she's living a nightmare. I'm not... See, there's not enough context here for me to really give a general sense. There's definitely an interesting story probably going to go on here because, like, she's living a nightmare. What does that really mean? And they're trying to stay awake, which means that, like, she's still awake. Like, when she wakes up, she'll be awake. But, is she suffering something? Is she seeing something? Is it one of those visual ones where it's like she wakes up every time and she sees something? Are the Rangers looking like something? And if you're curious what I'm referring to that whole entire episode where like Billy and what do you call it? Zach from the original show put on the glasses, and then when they look at the Rangers, they see putties and they start fighting the putties in the hallways and stuff like that. Like, are they going to do that kind of a thing, or is it something very different? Because like if like the other Rangers are trying to stay awake, like how does that work, and why do they want to stay awake exactly? Because like they have their normal pillows. She's the only one that has an unusual pillow. So I'm really curious about that one. There's something more to that. So I'm actually really interested in seeing what they do with that, because it's not very clear just from that. Like there has to be more. There has to be a bit better explanation, because that doesn't say enough, in my opinion. So let's keep going. That one really is the one that I'm curious about, because it's not enough. There's not enough there to really get a full sense of things. But it's definitely intriguing. I'll say that much. So episode 5's title is Roar of the Red Ranger. Awesome, and I have a feeling which I know of what I know this probably is, and I am absolutely right as I immediately start to read. Tyler tries to master the new T-Rex supercharged mode. Yeah, I knew it. But after Heckle plants a virus in Kendall's computer, the T-Rex supercharger malfunctions and makes Tyler go wild. Luckily, the Aqua Ranger is able to step in before it's too late. Aqua Ranger, 5th episode of Super Dino Charge. Interesting. Now, does that mean necessarily that he's going to be introduced in the 5th episode? Maybe. Most likely. But at the same time, it's not very clear, because the way that they make it out, you could argue that yes, it probably is, but at the same time, they could introduce it earlier, but I don't really see any time where they would, so it probably is the 5th episode. So that's interesting. Also, the supercharge mode, that's interesting. The 5th episode already? It's not bad. It's actually a good amount of time. They do mention him going wild, which is something that definitely happens in the Japanese show. So that's going to be interesting to see how that works out and how they connect it over. Is he going to be more animal-like? Is he going to make a noise at all? How is that going to work? That's really my question. I really want to know what they're going to do with him in that regard. They do mention Heckle. So does that mean that like Heckle is not Snide? Because people have been coming up with this theory that like Heckle and Snide are the same person, and that Heckle is the human form of Snide, and Snide is the monster form. So I guess we'll find out. I'm actually really curious now, because that sounds like a really cool episode, and like with the T-Rex supercharge mode, like I'm gonna be like that just like I can't wait, because I remember the Japanese show and that looks awesome, and this is gonna be fun. So yeah, I'm excited for that, and the Aqua Ranger, I'm gonna be curious to see how they do his story. It's gonna be his story. Yeah, his story. So I'll be curious about that. So that will be soon. Let's keep going though. we're up to the 6th episode, which is Forged Under Fire, which kind of reminds me of a title that they did for Dino Charge, but I'm forgetting the name of it now. Regardless, let's actually read the description here. This is the 6th episode again. Tyler looks forward to catching up with his dad after not seeing him for the past 10 years. When Tyler's energem becomes cracked, he is forced to mend it by placing it in hot lava and prove to his dad he's not a kid anymore. Okay. That's interesting. Episode 6 now. Okay. Yeah. So his dad returns by the 6th episode, which most likely... Well, we'll see. I don't want to say anything. Could he be Aqua? Maybe. Even though most people, and I personally am hoping he's Silver. You never know. But yes, his energem gets cracked. He has to put it in lava. So, I mean, they live near a volcano, so it makes sense. It's going to work. Past 10 years. Should be interesting. I do want to know how they end up meeting. Like, is it because of the Aqua Ranger? Or is there something else? Or does he just suddenly appear? Like, what's the story there? Because, like, that's intriguing. That's really interesting. Like, I'm really excited. And that's the 6th episode. That's when he shows up. Man, these titles sound really good. I'm excited. And it's not that far away, guys. It's not. Let's look at episode 7's information. So the title says Home Run Coda. Okay, baseball sounding title. Does he actually play baseball? Let's see. Kendall creates a new victory charger. Ooh, I know what this is. That requires the core 5 energems. But when Riley becomes Coda's coach on the Amber Beach Earthquake baseball team, he has a hard time pulling himself away from the game to help the other Rangers. Interesting. Yes, that actually kind of matches the Japanese show, because they did do something with sports in the Japanese show in order for them to use their victory charger. Oh man, that actually excites me a lot. Oh wow. I don't know why. I'm just like, this is interesting that they're doing it for the first half of the show, because this is the winter into early spring showing of the show, and then it's going to be into this is before even the hiatus probably, which is crazy to think that. So here is the last episode before the hiatus, most likely, I'm guessing. The title is, and this is episode 8, and it is entitled Riches and Rags. Okay. So it says, when Ivan mistakes a 1,000-year-old suit of armor as a training dummy, he finds himself in debt after destroying it. Heckle sends in a hybrid monster named Spelldigger to spread greed to anyone who touches his gold. Okay, I know what this is referring to. Spelldigger is meant to be the equivalent. So he said hybrid, in other words, meaning that it's 2 different monsters that we've seen before put together. Which 2? Spellbinder and Gold Digger. That's who Spelldigger is. So that should be interesting. Spellbinder and Gold Digger. Isn't Spellbinder the one that's like the big bird? I'm trying to remember it now. And I remember Gold Digger. God, but like, he spreads greed to anyone who touches his gold. Well, that's almost like King Midas, but in this case, instead of turning to gold, you become greedier. So it's kind of like King Midas, but in this case, it's like you just want more money. You're not like turning to gold. You just want more money. So that's interesting. Definitely connecting to that story. This season definitely sounds like it has a lot going on, and I am happier that they decided to not end it with like a story that would, be a 2-parter that would continue into the following season with the finish of the hiatus. I'm glad that they actually kind of end, like they do an actual episode and then they finish before the hiatus happens. That's good. That's actually pretty nice, because like, in this case, since this is a series that already exists, the only thing that they would do at that point, since they've already mentioned that Aqua is is like done already at that point. The only other ranger that they can introduce is Silver, and I doubt they're gonna do that now. I guarantee it will be after the hiatus. So yeah, so that's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed these summaries and titles and my personal reactions a little bit, because I actually was pretty excited about these titles. Like in the past, I always like reading this and I'm interested, but I'm not like overly excited. These excite me because I really do. I really enjoyed this part of the show in the Japanese, which is why I'm really interested to see how they do it in America. Because there's a lot of things that definitely like kind of remind me of the Japanese, but there's also a lot of things that like I'm really excited about, because this, like, Dino Charge was a great season, and I really want to see what they do, because if this is what we're getting before the hiatus, that's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Like, I can't wait. And then think about what we're getting afterwards. I mean, we're getting our Silver Ranger, and I mean, I don't know yet. Like I kind of feel like Aqua might be his Tyler's dad, but we'll have to see, guys. We'll have to see. I don't really know. I mean, I'm pretty excited. I'm really excited. I really want to know how this is going to work out. And yeah, so that's about it for me. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, check out the channel, answer the question time at the bottom, asking something about this, like, are you excited for this season? What's going on with you guys? How are you doing? Tell me all that below. I would love to know what your thoughts on all this is. Are you excited for this season? Is this season looking like one that you are ready to see? Are you ready to be charged up? Are you supercharged? Are you into it? Guess what? I am, and I hope you guys are too. So again, guys, goodbye. So I will see you then. I will see you when the show comes out. So and also please remember to check out other episodes and videos that I've done in the past, as well as ones that will be coming out soon, such as the first episode review, which will be out most likely on the day that the first episode actually does come out. So do expect that to be about the same day. I do want to get it out the day it comes out, so that should be very soon. But also check out all the other stuff that's on this channel, guys. There's a lot of other content, and I would love for you guys to view as much as you can find and enjoy as much as you can. So I will see you guys then, and goodbye, guys.